Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with the Quadcopter Review Roundup number 3. Now this is going to cover all the quadcopters that I've reviewed since my last roundup. This does not include the ones that were in the first two roundups. And I'm going to start with the micro quads here, and then I will move on to the mini quads in a separate section. So I've got a lot to cover here, so I won't give too many details on each one. But there'll be links to all the reviews in the video description, so you can go watch the full review to get all the details there. Alright, so here we've got the Cheerson Flying Egg. Wasn't a very big fan of that. This is the Wakira QR Infra X. Has a bunch of collision detection stuff, but I was not a fan of that at all. Had a lot of problems with that. The QFO Labs Quad Fighter. This is pretty cool. It's got the downward facing props, and that's actually a motion controller, so it has a tilt to fly controller. This is the UDI U830. It is also a tilt to fly quad, has a motion controller. So those are pretty cool. It's a fun way to fly a quad. Here we've got the two hexacopters. This is the Arctec X6, which I just had a ton of problems with. Was not a fan of that. And then the Eachine X6 came out and just fixed all the problems, and this thing is awesome, and it actually has a camera on it as well. Big fan of that one. This is the Syma X4, kind of a little baby version of the X3. Pretty nice, a little bit more geared towards beginners. It's kind of a little slow, but that's a fun indoor flyer. I enjoy that one. This is the LS124, and don't let looks fool you. That thing is a beast. It is really fast, really fun flying quad. Very surprised by that one. This is the WebRC X-Drone Nano, which I actually don't have a review of yet. I'm still kind of on the fence with this one. It's basically a rebrand of the Lucky Boy 9990 that I reviewed before, but I didn't end up getting to do a flight review because the battery cable pulled out of it before I was able to fly it. But I'm having just a ton of problems with this one, so I can't tell if it's just a bad product or if I've got some defects or what. So I may or may not review that one. I'm still undetermined on that. This is the Apex Fly Frog, kind of an interesting little frog design. Kind of an odd quad. Not a huge fan of it. It wasn't horrible though either. Just kind of mixed feelings on that. This is the JXD 388. Has been a very popular quad. I wasn't a massive fan of it, but I definitely like it. I think it's a little bit more for outdoor flight. The yaw's a little bit slow for indoor flight, but it's got a really cool, unique look to it. A lot of people have been a big fan of that one. This is the Yike Aviator. Pretty interesting quads. Got some throttle and rudder mixing in the turns that makes it fly really smooth and unique. Kind of has some cool landing feet on it, and I believe it's waterproof. I'm still on the fence with that. I've done a little bit of testing, and I want to make sure it really is waterproof before I, say that officially. And if it is, and I keep testing and it doesn't break, I plan to make a video of dunking that one in some water, so that's kind of cool. This is the JXD F180. This is a nice little quad. It also has the same rudder and throttle mixing as the Yike Aviator. Makes it a really smooth flyer. Pretty big fan of that. That actually made my top 5 quads under $50 list. That came in at number 5. This is the Yizon X4. Pretty neat quad. Got a really unique look to it with the prop guards and the diagonal colored prop orientation. Not bad, not bad. This is the Cheerson CX20. I wasn't a huge fan of this. It's more of a camera quad, but I did not get the one with the camera, which was kind of a mistake. I think if you're going to get this, definitely get it with the camera, because it's more suited for aerial videography. It's not really a, just a flyer's quad. Let's see, we've got the JX, this is the WLtoys V636 Pro with the little pinwheel landing gear. Kind of interesting. Kind of had mixed feelings on that, you know, being that I was such a huge fan of the V252 version 2. I had high hopes for the Pro, and it just didn't really meet my expectations. This is the Landbow X-Dart Next. It's a very cool quad. Kind of hard to get this version of it though, but luckily JJRC cloned it, or it's actually a rebrand, and this is the 1000A, and that is one of my favorite quads. Very cool internal LEDs, nice fast pitch rates. The yaw rate's a little bit slow, but this thing is a beast to fly, especially outdoors, and it's a great night flyer. This is, I don't know if it's another rebrand or a clone, but this is the Flytex X-Drone Nano. Basically the same as these two, but with prop guards, and you can get it in black or white, and same sort of deal. It has the internal LEDs, so that one's really cool. This is kind of similar, although I think this may be based on the original X-Dart. This is the Eachine CG022, and it has the headless mode that seems to be all the rage these days. But not bad. It's got a pretty robotic accelerometer, so it levels really fast, which makes it a little bit weird, kind of hard to do bank turns with it. And then this row here in the front is all my micro quad or camera quads. This is the brand new JJRC H6C, which is basically a camera version of the F180. So pretty much the same thing, but now it has an HD camera on the front there and bigger motors to account for the extra weight. And so that's a pretty nice little camera quad. This is the Skytech M62, kind of a little phantom looking sort of design. It has those neat little landing gears on it, and that's got a camera on it as well, though that is just an SD camera. But this is a really nice flying quad for an aerial video quad. This actually has very kind of sporty flight characteristics, and I just really enjoy flying that one. And this is the Dromeda Kodo, and it has an SD camera on it and kind of the exposed frame design that we're used to seeing in nano quads. So pretty interesting to see that in a micro. But again, this is a really good flying quad for a camera quad. It's nice and powerful and agile, and a lot of fun to fly. Alright, well that's all the micros, so now let's move on to the minis. Alright, I'll be back in a second. Alright, and these are all the mini quads. So let's go ahead and go through them. We got the Syma X7C here with the, I think that's it's got an HD camera on it. And then that kind of spawned the Fei FY550 here, which is, doesn't actually come with a camera, but there is one available apparently somewhere. And then JJRC rebranded that basically and made some improvements to it, and this is the H8C, and that does have an HD camera with it. That's a pretty cool quad. This is the Sky Viper X Quad, which is a huge improvement over the original Sky Viper. So I didn't even include the original Sky Viper in this bunch because the X Quad is the one to go to. Don't get the original. This is the Blade 200QX, which is a brushless quad. I've got the 3D props on it. This is my absolute favorite quad right now. That thing is awesome. This is the JXD 389 flying car. Pretty cool. It has, you know, drives on wheels and flies like a quad. This is the JXD 393, which is kind of unique that it flies in the plus configuration like that with one prop forward. Let's see. Oh, and I forgot to put this in the last group. This belongs more with the micros, but I put it next to its big brother here. This is the Helimax 1SI and the Helimax 230 SI. They both have the same camera. It is an HD camera, and they also have GPS-like features. They have a return to pilot and headless mode, and the 230 SI actually has an altitude hold mode, which is pretty cool. And then the last three here in the front are basically the Latrax Alias and the clones, or the competition, I guess. So we'll start with the original. This is the Latrax Alias, which is just an awesome quad, one of my favorites. Just a ton of fun to fly, super fast and agile, great sport quad. And then this is the Andromeda Omnis, which is similar. Obviously it looks like it, though it has quite different flight characteristics from the Alias. This is more kind of a stunt quad. It's very fast and likes to be thrown around and change directions really quick, and has a little bit more of kind of like a tough turtle look to it, or a tough frog look to it, I should say. And then this is the just released WLtoys V636, which is just awesome. For the price, it's less than half the price of the Alias, and flies almost as well. You can put a bunch of accessories on it, and there's actually a 1080p camera coming out for it, so pretty cool there. I'm really happy with that one. That's just a lot of fun. But there we go. That's all the mini quads, and that wraps up the Quadcopter Review Roundup number 3. And I'm sure, give me a couple months and I'll be ready for Roundup number 4. Alright, well thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you next time.